The ISFJ subconscious is built for punishment. That's why it's there. It's built to take abuse. And what it does after taking punishment and abuse, like a knight in shining armor fighting a war.
What? Hey there, welcome back to Type Evolution. I'm Olympia, and this video is about C.S. Joseph. I am a personality specialist, you could say. I have been studying various personality systems for around 7 years. Also, I have been coaching and typing people.
Because extrovert intuition follows the first law of time, which is... all that has happened before will happen again.
I think his introvert intuition is like the teenager that is like, oh, I know it, I'm so good at this, I can do it. And yeah, but then when it comes to actually the test of it, test and time, it actually fails. But it depends, of course. But it's just this kind of teenagery view on it that is overestimating oneself in this regard.
In my opinion, it's like law 0 of quantum mechanics, because law 1 is if you observe a probability, you innately make it more likely that that probability will come true. So if I've experienced something in the past, I can anticipate when it's going to happen again. That's basically...
This is so classic. He brings these mechanical things into it. It's so classic. Okay, I can tell you, I've described the ISTP LSI personality as the systematizer. To systematize is to put something into a system and to create a certain plan for the future. So I have to say it can be a bit misleading, to be honest, in a way that it's not just about intuitive things, but it actually is involving a sensorial aspect as well. And the growing edge of the ISTP/LSI systematizer is using information and putting it into a system, a logical system, or systemized information. But this information has to be related to a sensorial, physical, energetic kind of attribute or value or world, or things like that. They're gonna be lacking when it comes too much to intuition. So yeah, this is the impression I'm getting with him, that he is not really accepting his sensing. He is in denial of it, he is not using it, and that can be problematic. I get the impression he is going too far into aiming to be a psychoanalyst like the INFJ, but he is just lacking the intuition aspect and also the feeler ethical aspect. Like, how is he actually going to help people with that? The problem is we don't always have to exactly do the purpose role that our type is most fitted to, even though this is ideal. Sometimes, based on our environment, we might slip into a different role. And this is mostly fine if it's the role of your extrovert or introvert mirror, So in the case of ISTP, acting like an ESTP would be fine, like if it fits you. But if you go into something that is like really different from your type, so going from ISTP versus INFJ, this is way too different, and it's just going to create something warped. And the person is not going to be in their realm of expertise. They're not going to shine. They're not going to be on the best level. It's going to create, at the bottom of it, it's going to create some kind of neurosis. Yeah, it's just not a good fit. It's hard to say. Like, his aim is, in that video at least, it's well-natured, but it's just missing the mark of being like a psychoanalyst. It's not working.
SI inferior is where my insecurity exists. It's where the insecurity and the fear of the ENTP exists.
No. The insecurities and fears, well, people can be insecure or fearful about almost anything, but mostly it's the functions that we don't like or don't value and the functions that we are weak at.
Because I'm afraid of trying new things. For example, this YouTube channel, right? Do you know how long it took me to finally have the guts to do it? Like, seriously, it took forever. Why? It wasn't because I was afraid of failure. I was afraid of success. I was afraid that I couldn't handle it, right?
Mm, this is just classic Enneagram phobic 6 moments. Yeah, it's not really necessarily related to Jungian type, but I think ENTPs cannot really be 6s. It just doesn't really work with the ENTP personality. So this is rather typical of ISTP especially.
There's this new thing. I don't know how it'll go. I'm too afraid, so I'm just going to not make the decision.
I don't know how it will go. Yeah, this tends to be more related to weak introverted intuition or extroverted intuition, depending. Like I even mentioned it in my ISTP description that the Systematizer, their weak intuition, it makes them wary of potential outcomes and not being able to pinpoint a certain outcome, especially when it comes to people, which is their sore spot. So this really matches ISTP way better. ENTP, that's not really their problem.
With an ENTP, you have to encourage them to seek failure. You have to encourage them to be okay with pain. Why? The ISFJ subconscious is built for punishment. That's why it's there. It's built to take abuse. And what it does, after taking punishment and abuse, like a knight in shining armor fighting a war, and it's just constantly taking the hits.
Oh my god. Oh my god. What? So this is what the knight means? Taking abuse? Okay. What? Wow. Okay. You know what? I think this is... I don't even want to talk about it because it seems so personal. But it looks like he took a lot of abuse when he was younger. And he channeled that into his description of ENTP, which with the ISFJ Shadow or something. And it's really bizarre because ISFJ is not fit for that at all. At all. Withstanding a lot of external physical pressure, especially, is more typical of types who have extrovert sensing as their first or second function. So, and this is not ISFJ at all. But he's like, yeah, he thinks his insecurities and abuse are ISFJ knight. Oh no. Like going into war and stuff like that, like how he describes it, it's actually more typical of like an ISTP soldier or something like that, but not ISFJ.
More and more and more combat experience to the point where they could just start anticipating the future with their prescience and actually land killing blows over and over and over and over, all because they were willing to take the risk, all because they're willing to accept failure as the norm. That is the power of SI inferior and NE hero.
No. That is the power of extrovert sensing. He's like mixing NE and SI to create SE, basically. No. No. I'm so... Oh my god.
It's all about embracing failure and not being too insecure over, doing new things.
Okay, well, yeah, he's a phobic 6. I actually talked about Enneagram type growth recently on my blog. I made a post about it. So he actually is describing how an Enneagram 6 might grow by basically facing their fears. This is how a 6 grows. So I guess I'm glad to hear that he did that in the past. This is how he could grow, but it's in no way related to ENTP or ISFJ. Okay, I think I've seen enough of that. Okay, yeah, so essentially my conclusion is, yeah, he's basically totally misunderstanding or misusing the functions, the way how they actually are. And that led him to type himself as ENTP. So basically his take on extrovert intuition is very much introverted intuition influenced. I'm not sure how he arrived at these conclusions. It wasn't really clear in his video. I would have to watch more, but then this video is going to explode because it's way too long. Yeah, I think he's just a systematizer that is going too much into the aspiring role of the psychoanalyst, but it's not really working in the way it should. It's just misleading, and the archetypes, they are not really solid. I'm still, I guess I'm still traumatized by the ISFJ abuse tonight archetype. Yeah, I still don't know how to. ISFJ the Knight is one of the most confusing archetypes, really. That really is totally divorced from what the functions are, how ISFJs are. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I hope he's getting more back to his roots, systematizer roots. He's way too much in his loop, and he would be advised to also use his SE more. I mean, he does use it probably in the way how he's pushing himself and things like that, or how he's being pushy with his energy a little bit. But yeah, he's way too much in his loop there, and I don't know about the people in his life. The important things about knowing your MBTI Jungian type is knowing, yeah, your purpose role, or the things that you are good at naturally, or that is your purpose. So you're just gonna have a very different experience of life. Like, this is also what helped me tremendously, just fitting into that, or like just embracing that part. And yeah, it's just way better. And what he's doing is not that. It's not hitting the mark. It's I think he would be good in maybe coaching like ISTP 6s. Certain coaches are the best at helping people of their same type growing. So an ISTP is going to grow the most probably by being surrounded by people with having a suitable personality type, which are ISTP, ESTP, ENFJ, and INFJ, and also having maybe like a coach or mentor who is also an ISTP and who grew, or who's like older, more wise, whatever. And because you can kind of copy or implement these things the easiest, or it's the most close to also what you value as a personality type. So yeah, like he would be good with that, I think. He would be good with ISTP 6s possibly. The funny thing is, as I said, ENTP is very commonly mistyped, and it's commonly mistyped by ISTPs. Like ISTPs online, most of them mistype as ENTP, especially in the beginning. And yeah, so if he's appealing to this kind of audience, it's not too bad. Because yeah, but what my issue with that is that it's basically not an accurate archetype. Like what I'm trying to get at is actually accurate archetypes, and that's not it. That's not it. Like the rogue, that's not it. Just being contrarian, how is that necessarily your main archetype, your Jungian archetype? It's not. It's mostly about what is the truth, what is the archetype, the symbol that is really applicable and that can actually really improve your life, your future, or just make you understand the world better, or or if you don't like it, I mean, I've got some NE people as well, and they just like to deal with the concepts, and that's fine too. There are Enneagram influences, so I would say he's probably SPSX 6, 6-wing 5, LSI, TI subtype. So yeah, this SPSX can be contrarian. The 6 is about fear, so he has probably grown to some extent, but yeah, with his Jungian personality, not really. He's not truly embracing his extrovert sensing, or his sensing in general, which is quite common of this subtype. I don't know how he uses this theory, actually. I don't know how he uses it. It seems like he's mostly using it as a justification for how he is, or for how certain things are. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how he's coaching people with this. Like, is he actually using this in his relationships, or what is he doing with it? As I said, I don't really know here. And yeah, this is just confusing. This is really confusing. Your so to speak shadow type is actually not an abused type. It's not. Yeah, no, it's not. Maybe I misunderstood, but this is just wow. So if you want to get typed by me, just go to my blog or go to my Facebook page, and yeah, have a good day. Bye.